for me to be coming on and doing my live. But I have no choice today, as I forgot about an obligation with the kids today. And it'll be right around the time I need to do my live. And then I'm just not going to have time. It's that simple. And then at some point, I'm thinking I would like to try to put on the Pistons playoff game too. But if I can't get around to that because of the obligation, so be it. But I'm thinking around 8:30, I should be able, 8 o'clock. I'll be back home and able to do what I need to do. Actually, I should be home a little sooner. It's just we're going to be tied up a little bit. So I figured, you know, I still want to do a live. Like, it's in my blood. I like to do the live every day. It doesn't really matter what time I do it because you can watch it at any time. The only thing is we're a little bit farther out. It's a little sunny out. I have to do this outside. My son's getting his feeding through his G-tube right now, and he decided to do it in the living room. And he's a little sensitive. He's a little sneezy today. Not anything significant. He's just, it's like 80 degrees out today. We've got things fully blooming, so you guys know how it gets. But there is some exciting news here. Not just with the XRP charts. If we could just make this move up, like yesterday I was more bearish because it was showing a clear consolidation. Today, however, with where we held, we've got two chances here or not chances, we've got two areas. If we could just push past, we could start to have some optimism. First would just be to retake that 225. Then push past that 229 rejection area that was the pivot point coming up. And once you get over it, it leads to nice price appreciation. But when you fall through it to the downside, it always leads to some kind of correction. Fortunately, right now, we were able to hold just like an 11 or 12 cent drop. And we're able to rebound most of it. Now, once we get past that, that's when it opens up the big door here. And we're going to do a concise flip of what I'm talking about from the charts very quickly here. So, what needs to happen here is XRP, we can see, I think the best way to show this would show, not even that chart, would be to show this chart. Not XLM, but the XRP chart. So $2.34 after you get past that 229 pivot, that's the most important area in the short term. In this pattern setup, I think that $2.52 has to be breached because that's the wider way of looking at this. And that's if we can get over that, we are starting to push into ultra bullish territories, but we still have to break past a pivot point of 265 over the top. Then we're ultra bullish to $2.98. I know there's micro levels, but once you get past that 265 pivot, oh, buddy. Now, the beauty of what we've created here, ladies and gentlemen, is we had a very wide, and I think I'm going to do it like this. I know we could stretch it out here, but I think we should do it here because this is the widest we're going to get without elongating it. I don't like to elongate it because then it ends up being weird. Now, the question is, where would you break out? And technically, let's just say we break out by May 20th. This is a hypothetical, of course. Right here. Let's say we break out right here. That would give us, it's May 23rd in this hypothetical. And I'll keep this up here until the time goes past. So May 23rd is about 1 month from now, almost to the day. So if you break out by May 23rd, that would be your technical target over the top, which is pretty nice, actually. Pretty nice indeed. Let's see. But yeah, it's that would be a pretty nice move. Not exactly sure why it's not letting me put a mark across, but hey, that's okay. We'll do this a little different. We don't have to put everything. Who the hell is cutting grass over here? Oh, they're across the street. I was gonna say, what the fuck? Of course they would come right now. Hey, but that's how it is when you do things outside. So let's put this target up here. I'll just put the price label just so we can see it over the tip. Yeah. Just so we can see it over the top. So that's $3.97. So I mean, that's a pretty nice appreciation. And that would be assuming we were to break out. We overtook these areas. Obviously, we would be on top of the $2.65 end time. But I mean, you're talking about from the potential breakout area here would be about 236. You're talking about 67% from there, which we're lower than that right now. So I mean, it's about an 80% move roughly, 75-80% move from where we're at right now, assuming that we could continue to go on the right track. Now we look for some kind of catalyst here. We look for something that could stir up some volume, something that could shake up the liquidity pool. And I wanted to wait to see if this was true earlier, and Nick was talking about it in the Telegram, and kind of just were waiting around to see if this was actually true. Well, when Brad Garlinghouse came out and talked about it on his X account, well, then I know it's true. And we'll read through this, but he came out about 3 hours ago, and Brad Garlinghouse, and this is on his verified X. Let me do the intro. Make sure to hit that like button so YouTube does recommend this live. I would greatly appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the new format. It's been about week 2 now, where I basically just go through everything. No comments are going across the screen. I'm not referring to anybody. And then the last 20 minutes of these lives. So I started at about, I don't know, 2:10 today. So by about 2:50 or so, I'll look at the comments. And, you know, we'll have a little back and forth. If anybody sends a YouTube super chat, which I'm always super appreciative of, I would love to see those. You know, and I will obviously comment then. And then if anybody joins Tom's Army, re-ups in Tom's Army, or if there's anything of significance I can see in the comments, I'll obviously reply to those. And then I do appreciate the, you know, the super chats and the members of Tom's Army, because I've been doing this since March of 2021. What is it, March 24th? And I love that we've never missed a day. So I'm not asking for a donation at all. That's not what I'm trying to do here. It's if you feel inclined. If not, just please hit that like button and share this. It's incredibly important for the algorithm, and it'll allow us to be pushed across YouTube. And then turn the bell notification to all. At the very least, at least put it on all. And then if YouTube doesn't do its job, so be it. But at least give it the opportunity. So with that being said, thank you all so much. Show grace, humbleness, humility. We want positivity over negativity in this community. Inside of our house here, we made a little house. You know, be helpful, not hurtful. And we're trying to give abundance. We're trying to give and gain abundance. So by us gaining and then us teaching abundance through the charts, through technical analysis, through cryptocurrency, through the proper alt tokens, and Internet of Things, and ISO tokens, some AI as well, we're able to give abundance. You know, we may not have all the abundance we want now, but we're able to transcend it through each other. And then we allow opportunities. With opportunity comes grace. Because then we become one, it becomes more tight-knit. And there's just something interesting to be said about it. That's all I'm going to say. Something to be interesting about, or to be said about it when you start to have that family dynamic. But anyhow, good evening. 2:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, April 24th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. This slightly warmer and more sunny state of Michigan these days, as we're going to be in the low to mid 80s. Low to mid 80s as it's getting there. It's getting there quickly. What are we right now? 80. So we are there indeed. So it's 80 degrees right now. So I want to read through what Brad Garlinghouse said here on X, and then we'll go through like the article and things like that. If you are tuning in, once again, thank you very much. It means the world to me. As we've just over 34,400 subscribers now. It's incredible. Love it. So Brad Garlinghouse on his statement about the CME. So that's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, FYI. While overdue in a bunch of ways, this is an incredibly important and exciting step in the continued growth of the XRP market. We asked for capital, right? We asked for liquidity, and we asked for some kind of catalyst that could lead us into the next escalation of price appreciation, and not just the closing of the XRP case whenever it actually happens. And don't even undertake this bullshit of another lawsuit in Oregon. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'll continue to preach this point. The Fed, they had a federal ruling in a federal court by a federal judge that said that XRP is not a security, and there was actually an amendment put in that said it could never be deemed a security in the future, ever again. No matter what. Nobody else can bring this up. So Oregon, they might have 31 tokens plus that are in that lawsuit. You're going to have to minus XRP when it's all said and done if it goes any further, because it's already been federally decided. You're not going to get an individual state that's going to hand some kind of bullshit, felonious nonsense when a federal judge, they'll laugh him right off the building. In fact, he won't be a circuit judge or he won't be sitting in this. It'll be over for him. So that'll quickly get laughed out of court if it even gets that far. I highly doubt it. So it's kind of dangerous to go against what the federal ruling is. And then it's an interesting thing there. So I wouldn't even put any stock into that. I mean, that's something we knew would happen, but I think this is just a way to divert the retail's attention and be like, oh, see, right when you thought they were off the hook, now look at what's going on in Oregon. I knew it. These cocksuckers are scumbags. They're ripping and siphoning it off from the everyday jabronis like me. Wait a minute, I'm the jabroni? God damn it, I'm not going to buy this. Excuse my French. But that's what ends up happening, and then we become big. We're like, hey, the ball's in my court. Damn it, it's my money. I'm not going to invest in this shit. As it continues to appreciate better than any other asset we could appreciate. Literally, and appreciation and appreciate. I appreciate it because it makes my wallet bigger. And it makes me happy, and I know where we're going with it. I just don't think we're going, well, I'm not going to get into that, but I don't think we're going as high as everybody thinks. I got my laser focus on $10. Oh, yeah. Because that $10 to $20 move is what I live for. Imagine having a 6-figure move on 10,000 tokens on a 1x for somebody else. So you have 10,000 tokens and it's at $10, so it's already worth 100 grand. You paid 3,500 roughly. Chump change. Now all of a sudden you see a move where people are all getting excited. Maybe they got a few $1,000s in it and it goes up 100% and they're like, oh yeah, I made 5 grand, 10 grand. You're sitting there and going, oh my God. They just made 100% and I just made 100 grand. Are you fucking kidding me? That's what I'm here to live for. That's why I'm not going nowhere. I know it's going to happen eventually and I'll be damned if I'm not part of it. It's just I have to do it on my terms, and we're on my terms. That's why I love this community. We're doing it our way. So while overdue in a bunch of ways, this is an incredibly important and exciting step in the continued growth of the XRP market. Could you imagine sitting there, invested 10,000 tokens at 35 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents? We just happened to do it at 34 and 38 on this time around in the bear market, but imagine you did it at even 50 and you had a $5,000 investment. You're sitting there with 10,000 tokens and it's worth 100 grand and you're sitting there going, oh my fucking God. I can't believe this is going on. Like, this is, oh my God. Like, I know some of you are saying it right now. I still am. Oh my God, my XRP, the 10,000 tokens are worth 20 fucking grand. Or 22 grand. For all this time, it was worth, 4,000, 5,000, 3,000. Now you had a zero. And you're like, holy shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody who's watched me has added a zero by virtue of XRP alone. And now imagine we can do the next one with just XRP. And then you're sitting there going, oh my God, my $3,000 to $5,000 investment, even if you have $3,000 to $7,000, it's worth 100 grand. And now we're going from 10 to 15. Oh my God, I just made 50 grand and it only went up 50%. That's where the dreams are made of. The dreams aren't made of in singleville or under $1 or even, it's not made in the single dollar bills. That was my argument for not selling it when it was under $1. Like, who the hell bought it to go from 3,500 to 9 grand? Who gives a fuck? I could do that with any other asset. But now when it got up to 30,000, I'm like, well, now you guys can make a decision. You just turned 3 into 30. Who the fuck's going to say that's bad? In fact, I used to try to get people to follow my channel by saying, do the $3,500 to $35,000 challenge. Who the hell knew it would have already filled out? It went up, we actually made up to 34,000 off of 3,500. And that's, that's no easy task. Some people, it's been life altering. Now let's try to read through this again, but this is what I do and now I can't see the complaints, so I'm free to just talk. This is me. This is what I like. I feel better about it too. I feel better about the lives when I watch them after as well. Before I'm like, oh, it's getting kind of fucking boring. Not just that, why do you get so involved in all this? Just do your thing. So Brad Garlinghouse, his official X, said, while overdue in a bunch of ways, this is an incredibly important and exciting step in the continued growth of the XRP market. And this is the CME group. Starting May 19th, trade regulated, capital efficient futures on XRP available in larger and micro-sized contracts so you can scale your exposure with greater precision and flexibility. Mind you, still needs regulatory approval. It's pending, but obviously something deeper has already been agreed on since we're going this far now. It's getting deep, folks. Ooh, it's getting deep. You know, if you don't own XRP now, you're kind of like, oh boy, I'm getting squeezed. You know, because it's getting expensive out here. And I think it goes back to what Brad Garlinghouse said. He basically said it in layman's terms and said, hey, it's not for retail. And eventually they're going to be phased out by virtue, not by choice, because it's going to be too expensive to buy it. And nobody, I like me, I don't want to buy 500 XRP for fucking 30 grand. I want to buy 10,000 for 3 grand. That made me feel good. That's where I liked it. Or 3,500. I don't want it up here. I want to own it up here. See, this is the big misconception. I don't want to buy it up here. I don't want any part of buying it, but I want to own it up here. That's the big difference. So coming May 19th, the XRP and micro XRP futures. So that's that little announcement there, but I can read something a little bit deeper just so we can get a little bit more of what the speculation is across the markets. So here we go. Incredibly important. Ripple CEO comments on CME's big XRP move. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has stressed the importance of the CME announcement. Let's see. According to the data provided by analytics firm CoinGlass, CME Group accounts for the biggest share of the Bitcoin futures open interest, 13.14 billion out of 65 billion. It is ahead of such crypto native giants as Binance and OKX. CME Group launched Bitcoin futures back in January of 2018, which coincided with the start of a devastating bear market. In 2021, the Chicago-based derivatives behemoth introduced Ethereum futures. CME's group current Ethereum's futures OI stands at 1.32 billion. That's open interest. The Securities and Exchange Commission approved spot-based Bitcoin and Ethereum exchange traded funds in 2024. The lack of regulated futures was viewed as a major hindrance to the approval of a spot XRP ETF. With this out of the way, the odds of an XRP ETF being approved in 2025 by the new SC administration are extremely high. As reported by You Today, XRP and Solana are in the lead by the number of ETF filings in the US. So, I mean, that I find a lot of interest in this. So, I started going through all of the little articles, and one of the earlier ones was probably one of the better ones, honestly. I like the way that this was written. So, I guess I'll read this one too, and then we'll go back. So CME to roll out XRP futures as interest and adoption in XRP grows. The contracts are set to debut on May 19th pending regulatory approval. So CME Group is rolling out XRP futures on May 19th as it continues to expand its suite of cryptocurrency products. The world's largest derivatives exchange said in a press release. Pending regulatory approval, traders will be able to trade 2 contract sizes, 2,500 XRP and 50,000 XRP. It's like a contract. It's a lot. So you own 50,000 to own the contract, or 2,500. The contracts will be cash settled and based on the CME CF XRP dollar reference rate, which tracks XRP's price daily at 4 p.m. London time. As innovation in the digital asset landscape continues to evolve, market participants continue to look to regulated derivatives products to manage risk across a wide range of tokens. Giovanni Vicazio, global head of cryptocurrency product at CME Group, said, interest in XRP and its underlying ledger, XRPL, has steadily increased as institutional and retail adoption for the network grows, and we are pleased to launch these new futures contracts to provide a capital efficient tool set to support clients' investment and hedging strategies. The move comes after CME launched. What the hell is this guy doing down here? Like, can you get off my screen, please? The move comes after CME launched Solana futures in March, in addition to Bitcoin and Ethereum futures and options, which have been trading on the exchange for a while. So, I like that. Helene Braun did a good job. Who the hell is she? A New York-based markets reporter at CoinDesk. Hey, she did a good job. Miss Helen Good job. You gave me the information that I desired, and I left with some kind of knowledge. Unlike the last article, left me wondering what the hell's really going on. There is no freaking way the fear and greed index is that high. Holy shit. It's back up to 63. Oh, God. Wow. Is it really that high? How did it get that high? We jumped right past neutral pretty friggin' quickly, didn't we? Damn. So I think we're going to get one more nut kick. Can't help it. Feels too good to be true right now. Like, oh, it's just going to rise up and we're just fine. I mean, I'm all for it. But it kind of feels like we're going to do for a nut punch here. Like the last great rug pull. Ouch. I don't like seeing that. Bitcoin. Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Let's see how you're looking in the monthly. See where this... Ooh. We came through that like, whoa. Bitcoin's got that much liquidation? Oh, boy. Well, I don't know how to say this, ladies and gentlemen. But we got no liquidation left here. We ate through it all. There ain't nothing left. So it's either we come up to 99, or we're making a head and shoulders right now, and we're going to end up falling ourselves and kind of finding these short liquidities down at 80. 70. But look at all this liquidity right here. Damn. There's billions. Well, if we're doing the contrarian bet, we're back into fear or greed. People are starting to think it can't go anywhere but up. We're getting everybody to start buying back in. And we've got a speculation of good news on May 19th. I'd like to see it come down and fill those gaps, if I'm being honest. Not gaps, but those liquidity hubs there. Those are little fucking supply zones, if you ever ask me. That's supply some capital up, if you could. Grab that liquidity like it's going out of style. That's a lot of liquidity, me's or Louisos. What's XRP looking like in the monthly? Holy Toledo. Oh, shish kebabs. Guys, we may have a problem. We may have a problem. I know some of you who are seasoned veterans of my show can see it very glaringly what the problem could be here. We could have a problem. Because for every great push-up, you need to grab the liquidity to push up further. Well, for that to be the case, we came through and cleared all this liquidity through. Now we might have to come down here and try to find some support. It's not too bad. That's not too bad. It's not as bad as Bitcoin. Bitcoin's teasing us now. It's a billion, probably. Billion in liquidity down there in about a 10 or 15 cent range. We don't have much up here. I mean, it's not terrible. It's honestly not as bad as it looks at first glance, if I'm being honest. Maybe a little worse than it could be as the time goes on. But we've seen worse. Oh, we've seen worse. And then we came through it. We may get my $1.83 yet. We may get it yet. Hopefully not, though. I mean, this would be a beautiful setup. Look at a little bull flag possibly set up there about the V-shaped recovery. Oh, Lord have mercy, let that play out. Like, because if we could get past these zones, we got some liquidity sitting near 245 that has not been tapped for a while. And 230, like, it's desperate. We desperately want to go grab that. Like, it hasn't been grabbed since the fall down back there. It wants to grab it. Oh, boy. What does Ethereum look like? What does this cocksucker look like? Excuse my French. I apologize to all the kids watching. But Ethereum is just a pile of garbage. Oh. Ooh. The hell is that? I've never seen it so... Have you guys ever seen liquidity that strong? Oh my God. Okay, we got some over the top here. That's good. 800 million. 900. Okay, so you got 4, 5, 6. Probably like 7 to 10 billion in liquidation as you get up to... So we could take some of that. As you get up near the 1800, About 1900, you clear out all that liquidation. Well, let's just say for whatever reason this did form like a topping reversal and this is a right shoulder, and we decide to come hunt this liquidity. Well, that's a lot. 1,931,400. There's a very compelling argument to be made that there is some hella strong liquidity there. I mean, hella strong. I don't know the last time I seen a chart that dark. Look how white that is. My God. Jeez, there's 1.4. Look at all that billions there. Jesus. Wow. For dramatic effect. Holy Toledo. Now there's some liquidation for sure. For sure. The compelling news is though is we could just rock it out of here and then just kind of that liquidation disappears because then they just make money and they close those positions and then it fails to exist. That's the other part of it. You don't always need to go down to those big liquidity pools. If you go too far away from one direction or the other, so if you're long and it goes too far down, or I mean if you're shorting the market and the market goes too far down, well, that liquidation that might be over the top, you don't need to go get because they've made so much money in the money that they cash out. Just like right now, somebody going long, that liquidation down below might cease to exist if the price goes too high. Let's say it clears 2,000. Maybe they close out that position because they're so far in the money that they're happy. And now that liquidation closes below. We've seen it in XRP a few times. So, you know, you've also got to pay attention to that strategy part of it as well. So it's not all bad. Yes, there's some liquidity below. We're not going to sugarcoat it, but it's not the end of the world. We've seen worse. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Seems like there's a lot of stuff hidden in the news today for some reason. Some days you get the hidden news. You know, for some reason it's hidden. And you kind of got to seek it out. Ooh, I love when we go into the Bollinger Bands. Because we've already talked TA too. So XRP to $2.70 or $1.70. The Bollinger Bands reveal truth behind XRP price charts. After a prolonged period of sideways chop and fading momentum, the third biggest cryptocurrency, XRP, seems to be gearing up for its next major move. Now with the rejection at the upper Bollinger Band, traders are asking if XRP price about to explode or retrace. Last night's cooldown on the crypto market smacked XRP down right at the 227 resistance, the upper limit of the Bollinger Band. While that might signal cooling momentum, it is also exactly this kind of setup experienced traders have been waiting for. As of now, XRP trades near $2.13, with the mid-band represented by a 20-day simple moving average at $2.06, acting as a make it or break it level in the coming sessions. This rejection could go two ways. Man, is it getting hot. A bounce off the mid-band could reignite bullish fire, putting $2.27 back in sight. And if that breaks, the next psychological target at $2.70 is back on the radar. On the flip side, a decisive fall below the lower band near $1.86 might usher in a deeper correction, potentially dragging XRP into the $1.70 zone. So, in a market where the narrative is everything, XRP is once again writing its own. No matter what happens, one thing is for sure, XRP is anything but boring. Will the altcoin bounce back, or is this just a brief setback? Traders should buckle up. So, that's nice. And I like to do this because the XRP price is staying within the same range. You can't really talk about much more. You know, so we start to go through the news and the notes and see what kind of catalysts they're starting to face. XRP faces first rejection, but I believe that was yesterday's news. Let's see. Key fact today, CME Group aims to launch XRP futures soon, pending regulatory approval, making XRP the fourth crypto traded on the CME alongside Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. So the key stats today is the market capitalization was 128.43 billion US dollars. Fully diluted market cap is 219.94 billion. 24-hour trading volume for XRP is 4.23 billion. All-time high is $3.40 on this, according to this chart. We know it's higher, but some charts are lower. Circulating supply is up to 58.39 billion. I remember it was in the 40 billions when we were doing this. Maybe even in the high 30s. Maybe even lower. Total supply is 99.99 billion. Technicals say it's a buy. So, I mean, that's pretty interesting. When we go to Bitcoin, we just look at the, let's see, the overview of Bitcoin. Cantor Fitzgerald, SoftBank, BITUNIX, and Tether are launching 21, a Bitcoin native company valued at 3.6 billion, starting with over 42,000 Bitcoin and aiming for Bitcoin-focused products. Okay. Is this a catalyst for higher movement? The key stats: market capitalization of Bitcoin is 1.85 trillion, much too high for us to have a big rally. Needs to come down here a little bit. Fully diluted market cap 1.96 trillion, way too high. Trading volume 31.56 billion over the last 24 hours. All-time high 109,356. Circulating supply 19.86 million. Total supply, obviously, it's all in circulation. The Bitcoin futures, or Bitcoin dominance, I mean. This is what's killing us right now. Right now, the Bitcoin dominance chart has a volume of 37.86 billion. The previous close was at 64.41%. The range today has been between 64.15 and 64.6% in the dominance of all of crypto, the Bitcoin dominance. So right now it's materializing 64.35% of all money going into crypto. That's much fucking too high. To put it in perspective, Ethereum is taking, let's see. Oh, does it not even say it on here? No, I don't believe it does. It just, volume is 4.7 million. It's been within about an $80 range. So, I mean, it's interesting. It's like the Total 3 needs to start dominating a little bit here. It's got 132 billion in volume. And today, the total crypto market cap has 188 billion just on 2 tokens. Just on Bitcoin and Ethereum, we're being slaughtered here in volume. Eventually, you know, we will shift. It's just, it's going to take the right time, the right moment, and the right ideology that ends up pushing us in the right direction. Something that I find very interesting of the hire, by the way, and I'm not very happy about it. Southern District of New York So, let's see. Oh, I shouldn't say hired by Trump. That's gonna. So, Southern District of New York, new attorney. So, Trump names new interim U.S. attorney for Southern District of New York after top federal prosecutor in Manhattan resigns. Now, this guy, I mean, I don't think this is the right decision here at all. Let me read through this so you don't get my own personal bias. Let's see if they actually say it. So, the top federal prosecutor in Manhattan has agreed to step down, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Who gives a rat's ass? I need to go to... So, Trump's nominee, Jay Clayton... like, listen. So, Sasson has been named interim U.S. attorney with Trump. Fired Edward Kim, who assumed the role during the change in administration. Trump's nominee, Jay Clayton, will serve in as interim capacity for up to 4 months until confirmation by the Senate or appointed by federal judge in Manhattan. Clayton is the former head of Securities and Exchange Commission. Also had his hand in the XRP lawsuit. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is kind of a back end reach and squeeze of the old ball sack here. Like, why Jay Clayton out of all people? Like, I vehemently disagree with this decision. It's unbelievable. Trump tried to install Clayton during his first term, but then U.S. Attorney Geoffrey Berman refused to. I don't like this at all. By naming him as interim, Trump is likely to get his way without putting Clayton through a confirmation process. After 120 days, judges in the Southern District of New York can vote to appoint him to the job until there's a confirmed. So, you know, Clayton had a big involvement in the XRP lawsuit, right? So we have already talked. We've talked so much trash about Jay Clayton in the past, and how he basically tried to escalate the lawsuit versus Ripple and XRP. Like, now to have this scumbag be the new attorney, like, I don't like it. Okay, I don't like it. Say one thing, do another is what it obviously is seeming like here, much too often here so far. But I don't like it. That's my own personal bias. I know who Jay Clayton is. I know what the stunts he pulled, and I know his influence over the XRP lawsuit. I don't like it at all. That's what I'm saying. You kick out Gary Gensler, and you kick out all these other people, but now you put in Paul Atkins and Jay fucking Clayton. Like, if you wanted to give me two of the worst possible decisions you could have gave me, it's both of them. They both have. Anyhow, you know, that is what it is. It's been 36 minutes, 117 people watching. I'm pretty happy about that, 115. Pretty happy about that, seeing that it's at such a weird time. I'll go into the comments in a couple seconds, but let me get into the charts again, because some people might be mad about what I just said, but hey, it is what it is. Speaking my piece. XRP, so you can see it again while I'm still in front of you live. We've got $2.34 over the top as our next major resistance. We do have that 229 pivot, but if you're looking at the pattern setups, 234 is that next major level that we're going to come into. And then if you look at the overall pattern, we're looking at $2.52, assuming we do it by about May 23rd. You know, about 1 month. Assuming this happens in the next 30 days, you're looking at about 252 over the top. And then in order to validate this as a significant move and a breakthrough, we need to get over $2.52. There is no simpler way I can put, or $2.65. There's no simpler way I can put it. And then you have those micro levels, as we know, and the simple moving averages and things we read through with the Bollinger Bands at 272. But the next big level for me would be 298 if we start moving properly. Because then the Bollinger Bands are going to be used like they're supposed to. You're going to break out and use that 272 as support until you push to the next power area, which is right around $3. And then you could almost have like a rebound tile setting, kind of like you do right now, between that $1.98 and $2.40. We've kind of just been bouncing around lately. So I'd like to move it up, though, to that 272 to 298 range. I'd love it. Would love it. That's a $5,000 appreciation in our holdings on 10,000 tokens. I'd love to see it. Love to fucking see it. XLM real quick before I get into everything, because, you know, I can talk about other charts, but, you know, I'm going to talk about what I talk about. And then a lot of it at the end here is going to be to talk to you guys and get a little bit of a working relationship here, you know, get a little bit of common bond and a little camaraderie and a better understanding of what everybody's looking at. And then, you know, we can break it deeper. XLM, though, up 4.39%. Basically one of the anomalies today. Looking pretty good. XRP seems to be just behind it. In a rising triangle, rising wedge, rising triangle, but it broke to the top, which means this is either going to be and we can take this out now that it broke to the top of here, we can actually do ourselves a favor and make this easier to read, because now if it gets rejected at any point, then you'd start to come back to back test the breakout of the bigger pattern, but now it's starting to push up. So I mean, we're coming up to it about 30-cent area. And then, you know, once you get past here, you got a big opening. We got some openings. Ultimately, it's going to run us back up to 43 cents. But, I mean, this would be a magnificent reversal if this could play true. And, you know, you never know. Are they going to play true? You never know until they do. Or you never do know until they don't. But, you know, now that we played out these descending patterns, you look at a technical target here, and, I mean, The technical target short term would be up to fucking 52 cents. That would be fucking phenomenal if you ask me. Phenomenal. Be phenomenal. Can't think of one person in my audience that would be pissed off about that outcome. I'm not. I wouldn't be. And I don't have the greatest bag. I have 20,000 XLM, but I mean, that's not the biggest bag of all times. But, you know, now all of a sudden you're talking about that being $10,000 in XLM all of a sudden. You know, it starts to add up pretty fucking quickly. But we'll see. That's a 87% move if this plays true. So that's XLM. And, you know, we're doing what we need to do. It's just, it takes time. DGB, even on consolidation, has maintained over 1 cent very nicely. Got some work to do still. We broke out of our consolidation. Our next area, assuming we can hold this range, would be to come up to a very key resistance now at the 0114. And then you break out of that, and all of a sudden you're talking about some appreciation up to that 1.6 level. And that's a pretty nice appreciation here in the short term. I mean, I would not be mad. I'd be actually pretty happy. Be happy if my baby did that. Now, if we look at DGB as far as its market capitalization, because I feel like sometimes I overlook all of this, we'll do XLM as well. So market capitalization is 180.32 million. Fully diluted is the same. 24-hour trading volume is a measly 5.82 million. Although, you know, it is what it is. All-time high is 18.3 cents. Circulating supply is 21 billion. I mean, 17.66 billion. Max supply is 21 billion. Total supply 17.66 billion currently. So we're getting closer to its finalization. XLM, we've got market capitalization 8.6 billion with a B. Fully diluted market cap 13.93 billion. Trading volume is 246.47 million in 24 hours. All-time high is $1.05. Circulating supply is 30.86 billion. Total supply is 50 billion tokens. So, you know, that's a lot to take in. I can get to some comments here while we can, and then I'll let everybody have a good day. You know, I'll fare you a bit of, I'll fare you a good day after. Appreciate everybody who stayed. I do. I gotta look at my phone just so I can see. Appreciate everybody who stayed. Let's see what's going on here. Thank you so much, Joey McCaffrey, for the $5 donation, and also being a very loving part of Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. So very much appreciate that. Jorge, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Predictor, and also a very trusted mod. What the hell is that? Lonzo says XRP8's going to 50 cents plus. ACH, so Alchemy Pay, that's one that I did want to talk about today, actually. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Do I have it up here? No, of course not. I'm going to put it on this one, actually. This is one that I've been watching very closely as it came back under 2 cents. Ooh, it's moving a little bit. Had a little bit of a move from the last time I seen it. Oh, yeah, see, it came up in the last few days now. When it had come under 2 cents there briefly, I was interested. Oh, no, never mind. I seen this. Because it came up to 2.7 or whatever, and then it came back a little bit. So Alchemy Pay, that's definitely one that I'm going to have on there. I just need to remember to keep it there. But Alchemy Pay I do like. It's one I do like. I think it's got a future. It's just a matter of pinpointing exactly the bottom line and you know, the best possible area prior to the breakout of all breakouts. I think the Trump coin's a pile of horse shit. It's a meme token. Yeah, I know it was up 50% or whatever the other day, but guess what? They had dropped the rug on it like 90%, so it's bound to go up eventually. I don't like it. I think it's a cheap way to gain capital off of retail, and I don't like it. I don't think a president should have a fucking meme token, if you want my personal and humble opinion. But that's just me. To each your own. Not everybody's going to agree. A lot will disagree. Um, 2028, no more escrow drops, just saying. December of 2028, there's no more escrow drops because they're all done, but all of the relocked up escrow now can be deemed to be sold at once if it wants to be. So be careful. Yeah, there's no more monthly drops, but all that gets stored back up. So we have 1 billion XRP going from escrow to XRP or into the ecosystem. But then they lock up 800 billion per month, or 6 or 800 million out of that billion. Well, on a date in December of 2028, they can do whatever they want. So that could be a scary situation in itself, or it could be a beautiful fucking circumstance. Just saying. And Wales, thank you so much for being part of Tom's Army for over 1 year. I really appreciate that. Oh yeah, last time they opened up was November 5th, 2024. Great eye for Intel. And we all know that led to almost a 10x or whatever, close to it. Nader says, Tom is an artificial intelligence program. Whoever made that program is a genius. Elon. I'm not on the same pay scale as Elon, so I don't think he cares. If I was on, well, you know, you never know. I want lower XRP buying next week, more, huge amount more, so keep selling your XRP, guys. Tadaz, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP 589 Diamond Hands badge. Or the XRP Diamond Hands, not 589, but the XRP Diamond Hands badge. How incredibly awesome is that? Rick1, welcome in, and thanks for being a very trusted mod. Love it. Love it. With Jorge, who's been in Tom's Army for over 6 months, another very trusted mod. J-Ride, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge as we get close to the 4-year anniversary for some. And thank you for the $10 donation, surely going above and beyond. Wow. Mark Caston, thank you so much for now becoming in Tom's Army for 1 year and upgrading to the I Told You So badge. That'll be your beautiful badge for 1 whole year until you get the XRP 589 Moon badge at 2 years. How beautiful is that? And also a $2 donation. Thank you so much for that, Mark Caston. Kryptonian, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. He said Axelar. As we're winding down, I'll try to at least show a little bit of a glimpse. About to have to, I got to make a salmon outside today on the barbecue, so I got to start that at like 4:30. But we have, Michaela has a tennis match today. She's varsity, but she has a tennis match, which is going to get our attention later on this evening. FYI. This just continued. What the hell is this? Wrapped? I don't want wrapped. $0.339. It surely did have a big come down. That pattern though is coming to an end. Like this pattern, one way or the other, is coming to an end. So it's coming into an opportunistic moment one way or the other for long or shorts, but it's definitely coming to an end here. It's running out of space. FYI for anybody watching this pattern. You could do it like this. I would do it like this. But then I would say, well, you know, just to satisfy everybody, you come here to the low wick and you tap the, sorry, it's very hard to see with all this sun. You tap it and you tap it, and then it gives you like something like that. So yeah, we've got an opportunity. So if you're watching Axelar real quick in this short analysis, it's got to break past about that 36-cent level before it can start to break out of here. So that's something to watch. And then if it does that, there's potential. There is definitely potential here. The breakout would be rather large because I'm doing it from the full scale. That's what I mean. If all of these break out at some point, we'll put it back here to give it time to work. Axelar would be looking at a short-term breakout to get it back up to 57 cents. I mean, that's nothing to squawk about. You know, that's something. So, yeah, I mean, some of these have been in a very long, drawn-out consolidation. I'll keep it on there and watch it. XRP Healthcare, it'll eventually get over 50 cents. I know it's going over $1 and then some. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy gets to 5, 10, 15 bucks once it starts to go with these mergers and acquisitions. That's the ultimate goal after all. So we still got a long ways to go though. We got to get over 11 cents before I get even more excited. And then ultimately 15.7 cents before we start cooking again. So there's still a long ways to go here. Long ways to go, but I'm going to call it here. I feel good about this. I really do. I don't want to drag it out too long, but I feel good about this. I'm just very busy today. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate all of you. I hope I was able to answer all questions today in about 50 minutes in real time. 81 of you are left, so some of you got discouraged, or some of you just said the hell with the time and answer. See, that's what I noticed. Once I go to talking to the audience, like a third of the people leave. But when I'm not talking to the audience, there's more people. I don't understand. So, but thank you, everybody. Have a